Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a nighttime skincare routine. It's actually going to be my nighttime Retin-A skincare routine because I've been doing things a little bit differently than I have in the past. I've been using Retin-A since I was 28 years old. I'm 46 now, so I've been using it for a long time, mainly because there's a lot of data and research behind it. Have I seen changes to my skin? You know, I continue to age, that's for sure, I know that. And I haven't seen like lines disappear or anything like that. I think it's definitely helped with like tone and texture, color, you know, also as far as it, you know, reversing any signs of aging aside from color and texture. Not really, you know, like I said, I still continue to age. I still continue to develop new lines and stuff like that. Has it slowed down the aging process for me? Again, I just really cannot be sure. I would have to have me having never used Retin-A to be able to compare that to, so I just don't know. Now, I also wanted to lay everything on the table as far as like what I've done to my appearance and stuff. I think the thing that has made the biggest difference in my appearance has been filler. And I did get filler 3 years ago. The last time I had a touch-up was 3 years ago in my tear troughs in order to camouflage some under-eye puffiness that I had. And it's still very much there because I haven't seen my under-eye puffiness in, you know, over 3 years now. So like I said, it's still there, even though it's supposed to wear off like within 18 months. I think in some parts of the face, it doesn't wear off as quickly. And so, like I said, 3 years later, I still haven't seen my under eye bags. I also had a little bit of filler put right into the balls of my cheeks because I felt like it was getting really flat there. I think the biggest culprit when it comes to aging is volume loss. For me, it has been anyway. And so I did replace some volume that I had lost right there. And then that's it. I haven't had filler anywhere else on my face. I haven't had it anywhere, you know, from here down. And of course not in this area either. I wouldn't mind getting my temples done. However, it's a dangerous area, so I've just been putting it off because I'm a little bit worried. I did also have Botox recently. I actually talked about it in one of my last videos, my vlog or something like that. I think so, yeah. And he put some injections in my crow's feet, put one there, and then he put a few pretty high in order to just soften the look of my forehead, but I still have total movement of my eyebrows. So I love that. I love how conservative he is in his approach because that's my approach to it all. Like when it comes to filler and when it comes to Botox, I am not trying to look frozen. I don't want to look overfilled. I just want to look refreshed and relaxed. You know, I felt like I was carrying some tension in my forehead and I just didn't like the way that it looked. So anyway, like I said, I still have, you know, I can still make the 11s and stuff like that. So I still have a lot of movement, but I feel like I look a little bit more refreshed because my forehead looks a little bit more relaxed. So, so anyway, I just wanted to put all that out there before I get into the skincare routine because I know how some people are and some people will get upset that I'm even making a video about skincare because I've had filler and Botox. However, filler and Botox cannot address discoloration and stuff like that. Like I said, I've never had anything done to my chest and my neck and in this part of my face down. So that's all a result of just, you know, skincare. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let me show you what I've been doing. So this is the Retin-A that I use, and this is a 0.05. In the past, I've always used a 0.1%, and I used to use it just once a week. And I really liked, you know, that routine. However, I decided I was going to go down in strength and use it more regularly. And so that is what I've done. I use it every other night. So obviously this is going to be a routine that shows what I do on an evening whenever I'm using Retin-A. So the first thing that I do is I take off my eye makeup. And one thing that I like to use is this coconut oil. It is called Pure Fractionated Liquid Coconut Oil. It's made by Now Solutions. And I literally just put a little bit on my eyelids and then right under my eyes just to kind of break all that stuff up. For whatever reason, it's hardest for me to get my eyeshadow and my under eye concealer and stuff off, so that's what I do. And this is the part that I hate. I hate at night taking off my eyeshadow because my eyes have definitely showed the biggest signs of aging, you know. They're just very, I was not gentle with my eyelids at all, pretty much my whole life until the last like I don't know, 5 years or something. When I started to really see the damage that I had done, I started to be a lot more gentle, but I feel like it was just too late. So after I put the coconut oil on, I will typically grab one of these little baby wipes. I like these, they're called Wondra. And the reason I like them is because they're very thin, and I do not like thick baby wipes at all. So typically what I'll do is I'll just kind of rinse that just a little bit and get it really wet. And then I'll press it up against my eyes just to try to remove as much of the eyeshadow as I can before I start washing my face. So that's what I'm gonna do. Now I do want to mention that I have tattooed my own eyebrows. So as I am taking off my makeup right now, you are gonna see that my eyebrows do not budge. And y'all, honestly, I feel like tattooing my own eyebrows was one of the best things that I have ever done, because I was an overplucker in the 90s and I was literally had like almost no eyebrows. And I've tattooed them quite a few times, maybe, I don't know, 4 times probably. And this last time, wow, the color really stuck. I used a different ink and I'm so glad that I did because I love it. Okay, so the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash my face. And these are my favorite cleansers at the moment. I love using this one whenever I feel like I have flakes on my face, or if I feel like, I don't know, that there's dead skin cells that I want to kind of help, you know, loosen up and remove. And then I like to use this one if my skin is feeling really sensitive and I just want it, I want to be really gentle, you know. And so today I'm actually going to go ahead and use this one since I'm going to be using Retin-A tonight, so I'm just going to go gentle with my cleanser. And just so you guys know, these right here are my favorite things to use to take off my makeup. These are little baby washcloths, but I just love them because, again, they're thin and it just makes everything really easy and I can be really gentle. So this one is the one that I'm going to use, and okay, and so now I'm just going to do kind of what I did with my eyes and just press this against my face. Just try to be really gentle as I can, you know? You know, there was a time where I never wore eyeshadow. Even when I started this channel, my whole life, I really never wore eyeshadow. Now I feel like I cannot walk out of the house without eyeshadow on because I just look so much older whenever I don't have it on. You can really see how heavy, you know, my eyelids and stuff are. Okay, so one thing that I really like to be sure of is that my face is completely clean. So I do a double cleanse, and this is what I use. This is the micellar water, and it's made by a company called Simple. It says Sensitive Skin Experts. And yeah, it just helps to take off anything, you know, that I left behind. And I always leave something behind when I wash my face, probably because I try to be so gentle. And so I'm still gentle with this. And it just really helps to remove, like I said, anything I left behind. So see, I definitely left stuff behind. Gotta get better at that. So one thing I do want to say is that you can just leave this on your skin to dry. You don't have to like dry it off or take it off, you know, after you've used it. And so, so that's what I did. I just kind of walked around and, you know, let it dry. So the next thing that I do is I reach for my DIY. And I have been using this DIY since, you know, I would have to go look at my video. I started using it before that video, but I want to say it's been like 3 or 4 years. It's just my favorite. I just made a new batch this morning because I was so low and I knew I was going to make this video. So what it is it's aloe vera gel, not to be confused with juice. I buy a brand. I will put a picture of the exact brand and stuff that I buy. A lot of people keep letting me know that the one that I put in my description box has a little bit of lemon juice in it, and it does. But the amount is so minuscule, it's not bad for your skin. So anyway, I put aloe vera, probably about to there. I put 4 vitamin E capsules in there, and then I put about the same amount of squalane oil and glycerin and olive oil. So that's what I have in this one right here, and that's what I had in the last one also. And to me, it's just a perfect combination because when I'm looking for skincare, I want something to soften the lines, but I also want to feel like a tightening effect. And that's what happens with this. I feel like it's just a perfect mixture of the effect that I'm looking for when I apply skincare. And it's a DIY. I do want to mention that I leave this in the refrigerator every single day. I don't ever leave it out. It always stays in my refrigerator, so it's nice and chilled right now, and I love it. It goes on like a serum. It's very, you know, runny, like water, you know, so it definitely goes on like a serum, and it dries like a serum too. And I abuse this stuff. I mean, big time. It's amazing because you would think that since I have 3 oils in there, olive oil, squalene, and vitamin E oil, you would think that it would feel oily and greasy on your skin, and it doesn't. Like I said, it goes on like a serum, but when it dries, it has like a tightening effect, but then things look smoother to the eye, you know what I mean? So I just love it. You know what? I just realized that I have not taken off my mascara yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real fast while this stuff is drying. Again, I like these little baby wipes because they're so thin. And one thing, a big mistake that I made whenever I was growing up was I used to always pull on my eyelashes whenever I was taking off my mascara. And so now I kind of hold my eyelid down with my index finger, and then I just kind of rub like that in order to take off my mascara. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to pull out eyelashes, and I don't want to pull on my eyelid skin. So I just try to be gentle. So I'm gonna apply just a little bit more around my eyes since I just took off my mascara. Okay, so right before I apply my Retin-A, this is when I usually apply an eye cream. I do want to say, I don't know what has happened within the last like year or so, but I can no longer use Retin-A or retinols, anything with retinol in it. I just cannot use it on my upper eyelid skin. It dries out my actual eyeballs. It literally like dries out my eyeballs to where I can feel myself blink, and it's extremely uncomfortable. And I finally narrowed it down to retinol, and it stinks because that is where I need you know, a vitamin A derivative the most. So I'm actually gonna try like a retinaldehyde or something like that, something that's a little bit more gentle so that I'm still getting some vitamin A there. But anyway, so this is the one that I'm using, and this is just the Olay Eye Lifting Serum, and I'm almost out. I need to go buy myself some more. And actually this has a 5-star rating on the Paula's Choice website. I like it. It's just not as moisturizing as I would like an eye cream to be, but that's okay because typically I will take whatever moisturizer is the last thing that I put on, and I will dab it over it, and so it just kind of gives me that moisturization that I need. So anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and put that on. Now I do want to mention that after I've put on the DIY and the eye cream, typically I will go find something to do for like 10 or 15 minutes just to let everything just kind of dry down and soak in and stuff like that before I apply my Retin-A. I know that there's a rule that you shouldn't apply Retin-A to freshly washed skin, that it can actually cause irritation and stuff like that. So I just, like I said, I just try to let everything kind of dry down, and then I apply my Retin-A. Now, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, but the DIY has dried down. My skin does not look oily or greasy or anything. It just looks smooth and it feels tighter. I just love the feeling of this DIY, I'm telling you. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and apply my Retin-A. Again, this is the 0.05%. I've been using this every other night. I no longer get any irritation or anything, no flaking, no shedding or anything like that. And you know, sometimes it bums me out a little bit because that's one thing that I used to look forward to was the shedding, and to see the dead skin cells come off, and then, you know, having that beautiful glow after that has happened. So I don't really get any peeling or anything from using this strength. And I've read before, and a lot of people have told me that, you know, you don't need to see the skin shed in order for Retin-A to be working. And I've heard that so many times, but for whatever reason, it just always makes me know that it is, you know? As you can see, I'm just trying to spread it all over my entire face. Now, around my eyes, I try to take it kind of as close as I possibly can. You know, this is where most of my wrinkles are, on this area right here, so I kind of do that. So I kind of put it right there. Sometimes I will just take it all the way up under my eyes, and then sometimes I'll give it a break. It just kind of depends on what my under eye area looks like at the moment. But as you can see, I do try to get it on all areas of my face. Sometimes I'll see people and they're like, pat it, and I'm just like, you forgot all that section, you know what I mean? And then of course I do my neck as well. And especially right up under here. Okay, so I do also apply Retin-A to my chest area. However, I use the 0.1% for my chest area and I mix it with some lotion. I'm using quite a bit also. I mean, this is definitely like, you know, a little bit more than a pea-size amount. So on my chest, I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of this Curel, and I'm just gonna spread it all around. And I just kind of double the amount of Retin-A that I used, you know. And if I have leftover, I'll put it on my shoulders too. So after I've applied my Retin-A, I usually just hang out, you know, do my wash dishes, do whatever, all these things that I need to do in order to kind of get ready for bed. I typically do my skincare usually a couple hours before bed. So right before bed, one thing that I do every single night now, no matter what, no matter if it's a Retin-A night or not, is that I put something very occlusive and very thick on my skin just to lock everything in and protect my skin, you know, while I sleep, because I sleep under a ceiling fan, and believe it or not, the air from the ceiling fan can really dry out your skin. I don't know if you noticed, but at night, if I don't have chapstick on my lips and I'm just sleeping under a ceiling fan, it will dry out my lips, so much so that I actually wake up to put on chapstick because my lips feel so dry. So if it's doing that to my lips, it's definitely doing that to my skin, and of course, I don't want that. So I love the fragrance-free Gold Bond. I've talked about it so many times, several times on my channel. And so that's what I'm gonna put on right now, and I put a really thick layer. So that's about the amount that I use, and I rub it together, and I really focus on my neck, because I have noticed recently, maybe within the last couple years, that my neck has really started to age, and I'm like, no. So this is how I do it. It's so thick on there, and I press it. And honestly, I really don't rub it in much either. And I do put that also on my eyelids. Like I said, my eye cream isn't that moisturizing. It's more of a tightening than a moisturizing. And so I really like to just top my eyes off with a good moisturizer. And one of the reasons that I really like this Gold Bond is because it doesn't leave you greasy looking. I hate to look greasy. I feel like if you look greasy, or, you know, some people are like, oh, don't you want to look glowy? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to look sweaty because I feel like it accentuates skin that is not toned and is not, you know, tight. So I like that because it doesn't leave any sheen or shine or anything like that. And then of course I rub that Gold Bond all over my hands, especially my cuticles. This Gold Bond and this Curel, especially together, like I'll mix them together, keep my cuticles so incredibly soft. And I'm telling you, if that's gonna keep my cuticles soft, which is such a hard thing to do, it's definitely gonna keep my skin soft, you know? It's funny because I feel like more than anything that I use, a really good moisturizer gives my skin the appearance that I'm looking for. You know what I mean? I'm all about retinols and Retin-A and stuff like that, but those tend to kind of make my skin look drier and not youthful at the moment, you know? So I feel like these really thick moisturizers really leave my skin looking just really nice and supple, you know? And then of course, the very last thing that I do is I put on this chapstick, and literally I put it like all over my mouth and even over the edges of my lips before I go to bed. I put a ton of chapstick on before I go to bed because, you know, I don't want lines and stuff around my mouth either. Okay, so that about covers it. That is my evening skincare routine on the nights that I use Retin-A. Now, the only difference between the nights that I use Retin-A and the nights that I don't is A, I skip the Retin-A, and then B is that the moisturizer that I put on after my DIY might contain glycolic acid, or this is one of my favorites right here. This is just the CeraVe Salicylic Cream for rough and bumpy skin. I will put that all over my face, neck, and chest. And then I might even top it with some more Gold Bond. I'm really into thick moisturizers for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of the only difference. Okay, so that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. As always, I'm gonna go ahead and put, you know, everything that I used in this video, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the description box so that, you know, you can reference it should you want to. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend, and I will see you next week.